Hey, brother. Welcome to the Lead Your Wife podcast. And if you're wondering what does that even mean, then you're in the right place, because that's what most guys think, and that's where most guys are, and that's where I was until I started figuring this out. And then when I started figuring it out, everything in my life and my marriage changed. And so today what we're going to talk about is that you are the chief sales officer inside your marriage. Now, we've talked about you're the chief emotions officer, the chief executive officer. Man, we could talk about so much. You're the chief feelings officer, you're the chief initiating officer. Today we're going to talk about the chief sales officer. So what do I mean by this? What I mean by this is that as the chief sales officer, you need to have a path to paradise. Like wherever you are today is relative pain. Now, it may be good, it may be great, but the human mind and the human heart stagnates in good and great. And today's good and great is tomorrow's okay, and the day after is maybe this isn't so great, and 5 years from now, this is not great at all. This is pretty terrible. And so what you've got to do as a man is you've got to have this vision to expand. You've got to have this cascading future. You've got to have this idea of where you're leading your wife and where you're leading your family and where you're leading the lives together. And you've got to be actually selling her along that path. Now, guys, they go crazy. They're like, why do I have to continually resell my wife? Well, what I'm going to tell you is you got to continually resell your customers. If you have a long-term customer, you don't just do a good job today and then show up for your meeting in your underwear, unshowered, unshaven, teeth not brushed, hair not combed, and not do anything for your customer and expect your customer to still be your customer. So what you've got to do is you've got to understand that every interaction with your wife is a sales call. It is a sales call. And the end of that sales call is somebody's getting sold something. She's always going to get sold something, and you're always going to get sold something. And the question is, what is she getting sold and what are you getting sold? And so here's the idea. Is she getting sold that this interaction was good? It made me feel better. Therefore, I want more, and I see a future for this marriage. And when I look long term, there is a wonderful vision that I'm being led along the path of. In other words, if I'm in the pit today, and there's a paradise I want in the future, am I on the right path? This is brain science, brother. This is how you get hits of dopamine. Does she believe she's on the right path? And does she believe that you're on the right path with her? Does she believe that being on that path with you is the right path for her? And does she see you leading her down that path? If you do, then you have had a successful interaction and you have had a successful sales call. If she does not believe those things, then she is now being sold that she is not on the right path, that she is not with the right man, that she is not headed for the right future. Do you see how simple this is when we break it down? Like, how do I solve my marital problems? And they may be huge and they may have taken years or decades to develop. But what you've got to understand is one bite at a time, one interaction at a time. And what are you selling her on those interactions? And is she being sold? And what is she selling you on those interactions? And are you being sold? And so what I'm going to tell you is that what she's trying to sell you, oftentimes, if she feels like she's not on the right path, is that you better get on the right path. You better get on the right path. Can you be sold on that, brother? Can you allow her to sell you on that when you fail to sell her that she is on the right path? Do you see how simple this is when we break it down into these little pieces? In every interaction, she's either selling you that she is on the right path or she's selling you that she is not on the right path. And you're selling her that she is on the right path or you're selling her that she is not on the right path. When you look at this with such childlike simplicity, you approach every interaction in your marriage differently. You approach it with this leadership idea, with this sales idea, that this is an opportunity. This is a wonderful moment in time, this opportunity that I have to sell my wife, that she is on the right path in her life, she is on the right path in her marriage, she is on the right path with me, and all of this is headed to the future that she wants and desires. And man, you're not always going to be able to do that. So when you're not able to do that, what she's going to do is she's going to try to sell you on the fact that she's not on the right path. Now, here's where guys completely and totally destroy their marriage. They refuse to be sold. They refuse to be sold. Now, this might sound a little contradictory with yesterday's message. Yesterday's message said you are the chief certainty officer. In other words, you should never allow her to sell you on the idea that her path is not with you. And I still believe that 1 billion%. and this does not diminish it 1/1000,000,000%. But what I'm saying is that as we have spoken, and it's all over the internet on YouTube and Twitter and Tumblr and Apple Podcasts and wherever you're watching this, on Facebook, go find my stuff, man. She acts like the Holy Spirit inside your marriage. So if she feels like you are not on a path of sanctification, therefore not loving her the way Christ loved the church, her job is to sell you on the idea to get back on that path. If she feels like you are on that path, her job is to sell you on the idea that you are on that path. Now, how does she sell you? She sells you with pain and pleasure. If you're off that path, she's going to give you pain. If you're on that path, she's going to give you pleasure. This is so fundamental, and again, so simple and so childlike when we break it down, because what it means is that if you are not on a path of sanctification and therefore not loving her as Christ loved the church, you are not able to build a vision and sell her on that vision and sell her on the idea that she's on the right path. Because your path is selfish. Your path is sinful. Your path is prideful. Your path is full of ego. Your path is full of arrogance. Your path is monster. Your path is mama's boy. Your path is not man. However, when she gives you the pain, what she's doing is she's doing a sales job on you, and you're supposed to learn that you're supposed to get on that path. What path? Laying down and giving her everything she wants? No. No, man. This is not what I'm teaching. The path of being sanctified, the path of being with Jesus as your true north, the path of being that man, that Ephesians 5 husband who can love her like Christ loved the church. Jesus never laid down and let people sin around him and didn't say something about it or didn't try to provide a better example. He was the strongest man who ever walked the earth. So I'm not telling you to let her walk all over you, but what I'm telling you is that when she gives you the pain, rather than push back against the pain and say, I don't deserve it, I have boundaries, I need to stand up for myself, this woman's making me miserable, yada, 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 mama's boy, monster, 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 be the man. Be the man. Wake up and say, if my wife is giving me pain, I need to get right with God. I need to do a better job in my Christian walk because clearly I'm not loving her as Christ loved the church. I'm not able to love her selflessly. I'm not able to love her with sacrificial servant leader love. In other words, I'm giving her egoic love. I'm giving her lustful love. I'm giving her prideful love. And so now what I'm talking about here, man, is that if you don't allow yourself to be sold, that you are not on that path when she gives you the pain, that's when your marriage falls apart. Because where does she have to go? It just keeps getting worse for her. And she's trying to do a sales job on you and sell you on the idea that you are on the wrong path. Man, okay, Chief Certainty Officer, you know that overall you're on the right path because you know your true north is Jesus. You know your true north is sanctification. You know your true north is God the Father at the head of your marriage and you becoming more like Jesus every day. And you never, ever, ever allow her to sell you off of that idea. But as I'm moving my finger, and if you're not seeing the video, just imagine it going left and right. As you're deviating from the path and you're getting the pain pain is to put you back on the path. Here's the thing. If she gives you the pain and you get back on the path, you just sold her that she's on the right path, and she's on the right path with the right man to the right future, and that she wants to stay married to you. But if she gives you the pain and you don't get back on the right path, you either blame, shame, defend, deflect, turn it around on her, or be a mama's boy and refuse to engage in the conflict, then she gets sold on the fact she's on the wrong path, and she's headed to the wrong destination, and she's on the path with the wrong person. This is childhood simple to say. It's childhood simple to say. It is incredibly difficult to do. It is mostly and more so incredibly difficult to do consistently. You get tired. You get frustrated. You get into yourself. You get into your feelings. You get into your ego. You want to snap. You want to push back. You want to be a mama's boy. You want to be a monster. You don't want to be the man. The man is the hard path. Taking the hard path over and over and over and over. Jesus took the hard path. He calls you to do so much less. And yet for us, it's so hard to do with our wives in our marriage, to be on that hard path over and over and over and over. And so the only way that you're going to be able to do this is you've got to transform who you are on the inside. You've got to grow it up. You've got to mature it. You've got to make it incredibly masculine. You've got to make it able to take a stand. You've got to make it able to create certainty. You've got to make it able to take the bold, courageous path, to make the bold, courageous choice, to do the right thing in the face of things that are going wrong. And sometimes that right thing is looking at yourself and saying, that's right, I am acting like a monster. That's right, I am acting like a mama's boy. And then looking to Jesus for help to become a stronger man who doesn't do that. And so what I'm going to leave you with is that in every interaction, you are selling your wife. You are reselling her that she made the right decision agreeing to marry you and staying on this path with you. Or you are selling her that she made the wrong decision to marry you and staying on this path with you. Make the right choice. Sell her the right thing. And the only way you're going to do that is you got to sell yourself on this idea that whatever it takes, you've got to figure out how to rise this up inside you, how to get this level of strength inside you, how to become that level of man who is able to look at himself, and when his wife gives him pain or a course correction, rather than being the monster, rather than being the mama's boy, he can be the man. Do that, man, and you're going to have a much better marriage. And if you want help doing that, here's what I have for you. Go to www.realmanrevolution.com. Check out what we do there, and I'll see you on the other side.